Hey there, this is Amelia here. Welcome to Amelia's crossdressing story. Today we are going to share a story called Trip to Paris Part 6. By Teddy. For more interesting and exclusive stories, please subscribe to my channel and support me at Patreon. Shortly after spring semester started, Jason's father had to go to Briare's home office in Brest for 2 weeks. And he wanted to take Jason's mother and youngest sister along. Jason's oldest sister had changed colleges and was now out of town, so they asked Jason and Ronnie to house sit so that the dogs wouldn't have to be kennelled for 2 weeks. And the couple agreed, as it was only a 20-minute drive to the university campus. Jason and Ronnie took his parents and sister to the airport early on a Saturday morning, saw them off, went back to the house, and moved a few things into his old room. It was strange having the house all to themselves. That evening Jason cooked them a nice meal, and later they took the dogs for a walk. These walks would become a routine for the 2 weeks that they were there, weather permitting. After they returned from walking the dogs, they cuddled up in front of the fire, enjoying the peace and quiet. Sunday was rainy and cold. And they slept in until 11. After lunch, out of the blue, Ronnie said, "Do you think Beth's clothes still fit you?" "What? Beth's clothes? Do you think that they still fit you?" "Maybe." "Why?" "I just thought that I'd like to see how you used to dress." "You're kidding?" "No." "When?" "Whenever you want to." Jason sat there for a while thinking. He got up, looked at Ronnie, and said, "Are you sure?" "Yes." "Are you really sure?" "Yes." "All right. I'll be back." About 15 minutes later, Ronnie heard him come back downstairs. She turned, expecting him to be dressed in his sister's clothes. He was still wearing his clothes. She said, "I thought you were going to dress for me." "I was. But all the bras that Beth left home are too small." "I thought that you also wore your mom's things." "I have. But never her underwear. And I think they'd be too small." She got up, took his hand, and led him upstairs to their room. She walked over to where she had her clothes, picked up a bra, and handed it to him. He looked at it and said, "This will be too small." "No, it won't." "But it's one of yours. And you're smaller than I am." "It's not one of mine." "Huh? I got that one for you." "For me?" "Yeah. I kind of figured that our bras would be too small for you." He looked at the bra. It was a white stain, 38C. And almost as pretty as the one Ronnie had worn at the wedding. He looked at her and said, "You got this for me? I was going to give it to you later." "But..." She smiled, and as she walked out said, "I'll be downstairs." She turned and walked back downstairs. A little while later, she again heard Jason come back downstairs. She turned, looked at the doorway, and stood up. There was Jason, from the neck up. But what appeared to be a girl from the neck down. He was dressed in a pretty print blouse, a dark blue skirt that hit just above the knees, nylons, and a pair of slingbacks with 3-inch heels. And it appeared that he had breasts. She thought, interesting. He really likes to dress like this. And he actually looks good in his sister's things. Too bad his legs are hairy. I wonder what a wig and makeup would do. What am I thinking? They just looked at each other. Finally he turned and walked back toward the stairs. Ronnie asked, "Where are you going?" "To change." "Why?" "You don't like it." "I didn't say that." "But if you want to change." As he turned around and walked back into the room, he said, "Yeah. I guess you didn't. I was just taking it in. And figuring out how I feel about it." "Well, too early to tell. Do you want me to stay dressed?" "For a while. If you like." A few hours later, they were in the kitchen preparing supper. Jason was still dressed. And they were just chatting away. After they had finished eating, she asked him, "How do you feel?" "A little strange." "A little strange?" "This is the longest I've ever been dressed, and no one has ever seen me dressed this way before." "No. I mean, how do you feel now that you're dressed again, like you used to?" "The heels are starting to kill me. But I feel comfortable and relaxed. I missed doing this." "Why the heels?" "I really like the way they look and feel. And I've worn them a lot. And it adds to the effect. You do walk like you've worn them before, and you do have nice-looking legs. Except for the hair. How's the bra?" "Perfect. How did you get the size right?" With a smile, Ronnie said, "An educated guess." As they were cleaning up, she walked up to him, kissed him, then looked into his eyes, and said, "I love you." "I love you too. I'm going to go and change." "Okay. I'll be in the den." Jason went back to his sister's room, changed back into his clothes, and carefully put his sister's things back where they belonged. He took the bra and put it back with Ronnie's things. Then he found Ronnie in the den, sitting in front of the fireplace, watching the fire, and he sat next to her. She cuddled up next to him, and he held her. After they had been sitting there a while, she slowly started to seduce him. They ended up having one of their long sexual trysts right there in the den. When they were finished, they cuddled up together on the couch, under a blanket. Their clothes scattered on the floor. And fell asleep. The following 2 weeks were a typical school and study routine for the couple. His parents and sister were due back on Sunday, so on the Friday before, they went grocery shopping. After they had put the groceries away, Ronnie said, "Honey, I got you something." "What?" "Here," she said, as she handed him a pink plastic bottle. "What's this?" "I thought that you might like to see what your legs look like in nylons without hair." "What is it?" "It's a depilatory hair remover." "Aw. Maybe. But what if someone notices?" "So. It's your body. Just tell them you don't like body hair. Besides, it's going to be cold for the next few months, you'll be wearing long pants, and your hair will grow back. If you want it to." "I don't know." As she turned and walked toward the den, Ronnie said over her shoulder, "I'll be in the den. And I'll help you if you want me to." Jason stood there for a minute looking at the bottle, and then followed her to the den. As he walked into the den, Ronnie looked up at him. "And," he said, "why not? I'm open to new experiences." She got up, took his hand, and led him to the upstairs bathroom. They stood there in silence for a couple of seconds, and finally Ronnie said, "Well, take your clothes off." Jason removed his clothes, and Ronnie handed him a thong. "What's this for?" he asked. "To keep the depilatory off of your friends." He slipped the thong up his legs, and on up to his waist. This was something new for him. He thought the string between his cheeks felt weird. Ronnie had him stand on a bath towel and spread his legs. She carefully covered both of his legs in the thick liquid. And, as an afterthought, covered his butt cheeks and front from the thong's waist strap down. Jason asked, "Why did you do that?" "I thought we were only doing my legs." With a grin, Ronnie said, "I just thought it was a better place to stop." "Heck. You might as well do my whole body." With a grin, she said, "We could do that." "No. Whatever you say." He stood there for the necessary time, got in the shower, and watched his leg hair go down the drain. When he was out of the shower, she carefully patted him dry and applied a moisturizer everywhere the depilatory had done its work. As she was walking out of the bathroom door, she looked back at him and said, "Your sister's little black dress would look really nice. And I put the bra in with your things. It's yours, not mine. I'll be in the den." A little later, she heard him coming down the stairs and walk into the den. She turned, looked at him, and he was wearing the black dress. "I couldn't get the zipper up." "Can you help me?" Jason said. She looked at him, smiled, and said, "Boys." They can't do anything. Excuse me. Yes, I'll help you, she said, turn around. He turned, and she tried to pull the zipper up. But it was too tight around the waist. And, she said, come with me. He followed her back upstairs to his sister Beth's room. And she started looking through her chest of drawers. Jason asked, "What are you looking for?" "Something that every girl who really likes to look nice in a special dress has." "What?" "This," she said, holding up a white garment, a waist cincher. "That sounds painful." "Silly. It's not painful. Maybe a little tight, but not painful. It makes those dresses that are just a little too tight fit just right. Take the dress off." "Oh, I love this one, garter tabs, and it laces up. And a matching thing. Beth must have gotten this one for someone special. Lose the pantyhose, and panty too. And I'll see if she has any nylons to go with this." While Jason removed the pantyhose and panties, Ronnie looked through Beth's lingerie drawer and found what she was looking for. When she turned around, he was standing there in only the bra, and she quipped, "Well, don't you look cute?" He looked at her a little hurt and started to walk out of the room. Ronnie said, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to sound that way." He turned back around and said, "That hurt. I thought that you were beginning to understand this. I'm still really nervous about this whole thing with you. I'm really sorry. Please don't be mad. Really, I am beginning to understand." She walked over, kissed him, and held him for a minute. Then she asked, "You still using the socks?" "For what?" "To fill the bra." "Yeah. I think I might have something better," she said, turning around, and went back to Beth's lingerie drawer. She took out a few more pairs of nylons, handed them to Jason, and added, "Take the socks out, and put these in. At least it'll feel better." She watched as he removed the socks and replaced them with the nylons. And then asked him, "Better?" "Yeah. They're softer. Here, slip into this," and she handed him the thong. That's all for now. See you in the next video. For more interesting stories, please subscribe to our channel, and for exclusive content, please join us on Patreon. Link in the comment.